Good evening and welcome to 38th episode of Teen Sawaal Teen Questions with Dr. Senthil Kumaran. Today I am privileged to be talking to a scientist, a founder who has created a niche and who talks from the perspective of a practitioner. Uh, Before I introduce Mr. Vishnu Prasad, let me kind of give little housekeeping comments. I had one question in the last episode on vocational education. My request is, whenever you hear any of the content which comes in our program, go back, validate from your regulator, statutory body, and adhere to whatever that has been done by them in a very, very clear format. Because it's very important for all of us to adhere and appreciate what is being done on our board. But I think it's a good idea. If you have a suggestion or input, please give it to your respective boards or governments, whoever you think it will make very important. While we are taking up going on with the session, any questions, any thought processes which you have come? We've got a lot of questions coming from on Students Innovation Council. I will surely address independent of this particular thought process, but I think it's very, very important for us to understand the context, the reality, and then kind of take it up. I met, I have heard about Mr. Vishnu Prasad during my couple of last, visits to Chennai, where I've been trying to talk to him and reaching out to him. And it was my pleasant surprise that I had the opportunity to be here today in Chennai. And I requested him that can I squeeze 1 hour from him. And thank you, Vishnu, for taking time off. And I think before giving the his background, one thing I loved when I heard about him, that where exactly we get motivated and how exactly do we really get motivated is very, very important. And he said a very interesting point. He said environment is around us, motivation is around it. Only thing is that it needs to get triggered at the right time, and how exactly. And surely I will ask him his story sometime. But just to give you a little background of Vishnu Prasad, I'll call you Vishnu for the convenience full name. Okay, so Vishnu is basically the founder and chief scientist in charge of Vishnu Prasad Research Center, which is called as VPRC. He's basically, he did his studies in Chennai, Tirupati, and came back again, and then traveled, across. Basically, he started his career from CSIR, where he Government of India, and he started working with them, which is basically headquartered at Chandigarh, particularly the scientific instrument division at Chandigarh. Basically, engineer from Anna University, still pursuing his PhD. I think there's again an interesting story on material sciences. I will ask him to kind of look at it. I wanted to understand with him that why he started this. So he started somewhere in 2018, which today, 2018 he started, and today we are in 2022. He already has 19 departments, and 45 scientists across the globe who are working with his team. Till 2020 March, they have, helped 500 plus companies across the globe to, come up and solve their problems. Not only this, they have today collaborated with research with 3 international institutions, 19 eminent professors as advisors, and 45 scientists working from India, UK, US, Japan, and China. So I think if somebody is trying to, normally I hear this particular point whenever we talk about innovation, that okay, how is China doing, how is Japan doing? So surely I will ask one question a little later on that particular point. And the most important thing is that for a research center, when we try to talk about, and I would like him to also talk about this particular point, where he said that he holds, today VPRC holds more than 69 patents, 180 plus innovation in its name and its credit. With these people working across, and the space is very, very varied: agriculture, defense, aerospace, consumer electronics, Meditronics, electric vehicle, fuels, IoT of things, solar, biomedical, industrial robots, material sciences. I loved his, his vision, His vision is very, very interesting. It's to impact every citizen, use his inventions either directly or indirectly. I think that's something which is very, very important when we talk about innovation. It needs to go to the common person. Now, with the profile is still bigger, I'm just kind of cut down to make sure that I want him to speak, me to kind of keep quiet and then listen to him. Thank you, Vishnu, first of all, for agreeing on taking up this particular call of being on this particular discussion per se. On, the second important thing, my second question to you is going to be, this word innovation is being, according to me, used, abused, overused. I don't know what to say, but I think it's very important for us to understand that what does this word innovation means? Because this is something which everyone is trying to talk about, nurturing innovation in schools. But what is this word, first of all, innovation, according to you? You can see there.
See, if something that is making your life easier is an innovation.
Okay.
That is the basic thing. Okay. Before, I used to have rock grinder and the people used to make chutney.
Okay.
But now there is a mixer or grinder. So it is an innovation. Now it is a commodity.
Correct.
But it is an innovation.
Okay.
So the basic, my definition of innovation is, if there is something that is making your work easier,
okay,
that is making your process easier, then that is innovation. And innovation can exist in anything. It can exist as a product, or it can exist as an algorithm, or it can exist as a process. But mostly, if it is a product, then the feel of innovation is more.
Okay.
If it is an algorithm, or if it is invisible, like nobody, they
are not able
get
to
the
see
impact. They get the impact, but they don't feel the impact of it. They don't feel the bigger vision of the innovation.
Okay, so you think that innovation is something which I should be able to see around me and I should get benefited in my routines.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, for example, Google Maps is an innovation.
Okay.
Before Google Maps, if you want to go to some place, you'll be stopping your vehicle every street, at the corner of a street, at a turning, and then you'll be puzzled. But after Google Maps, it is an innovation.
But again, Google Maps is like something which people keep criticizing and keep talking about also about it. Is it takes you to smaller streets. And
that's because of that. That is the problem is Google Maps. The problem is navigation.
Okay.
That has been solved by Google Maps. And then with the help of data, the problem of accurate navigation will be solved.
Okay, so that's the phase 2. So
phase
probably we will not get stuck in a...
after 20 years, the same scenario will not exist.
Okay. Now, what are the typical myths? People say improvement is a myth or problem solving is a myth. How it gets perceived, and can you just throw some experiences of yours to basically help people to understand in the most simplest form? Because whenever we talk to some of these people who are into this particular sector, they complicate things. Okay, so can you just help us to understand what is this?
See, for example, you have invented a cycle. Okay, you are walking.
Okay.
So you want to go faster. So going faster is your problem.
Correct.
So you have invented something called as a cycle.
Correct.
So that is an innovation.
Correct.
So then what you do, if you attach a motor to it, that is an improvement of a cycle. That is not an innovation.
Correct.
And the second thing is, you still want to go faster.
Okay.
So you want to avoid cycle, you will be avoiding cycle and you want to get into a new phase called as engine.
Correct.
Whether it is going by car or going by bicycle or bike, that is a different invention.
Okay.
So, and there, increasing the mileage, increasing the speed, going at what phase, that is also different thing.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
So, that is a different thing. So, I can't compare a bicycle and I can't compare a bike.
Okay.
The problem is I want to go faster. Still, people want to go fast. That is why they are getting into the supersonic missile, air transportation and everything.
Correct.
So, improvement is not innovation.
So, can I call invention of invention can be called as innovation?
Yeah.
So I create something which is parallel, not just a marginal improvement in that particular.
Correct.
So that's
Cycle is different, bicycle is different, bicycle,
Motorbike.
is different, motorbike and car are same technology.
Okay, and if I use battery instead of that, can I call it as innovation?
No, that's not innovation.
That's not.
And if you are creating battery out of something new other than the existing thing, that is innovation.
Okay. Now people talk. You have traveled and you have your colleagues spread across the world. When we talk about this innovation particularly, I'll come to school specifically, but I want to be generic. What is the scenario across the globe right now when it comes to innovation? People say that when it is a knowledge economy, when you are moving to a knowledge era, we require a lot of innovations to happen. In India, one of the things is today we have lost patents for multiple things, like as simple as a turmeric powder or turmeric in our scenario. So what is your perspective? Can you give one or two examples that how exactly across the globe how it is going?
See, across the globe, the people are very specific.
Okay.
If you ask, electrical engineering is a bigger subject.
Correct.
So here, if you ask somebody who's studying engineering, they'll say, I'm studying electrical engineering. And if somebody is studying masters, if you ask, they'll say, I'm studying power control systems. That is a branch of thing.
Correct.
And if you ask somebody what they're doing in PhD, they'll just tell the topic. But if you ask the same question to the person pursuing PhD there, he will tell the topic in which he is researching.
Okay.
So he will not tell the department.
Okay.
They are very specific.
Okay.
And they know what is the problem that they are going to solve, and they know what is the output. So they are defined where is their destination.
Okay.
And if they feel that they have arrived at the destination, then they feel that yes, they have completed the PhD, they have completed the research.
Okay.
But here in India, that is generic.
Okay.
So, for example, if you see outside, there we have one of the scientists where we are working on something called as we are doing R&D on motors, electrical motors. So when I asked the scientist, I met an Israeli scientist and I met a Japan scientist. So both are working here. One is on material sciences, one is on cars. So when I asked the scientist, I told, okay, please introduce yourself. Then the guy told, okay, he has said everything, and he told to another scientist that I'm working VPRC only on the coil.
Okay, only on the coil.
Coil.
Okay.
Only on the motor coil.
Okay.
That is his thing. And then if I ask my colleague, my team here in India to address the team, to introduce themselves, they say, I work in biotechnology department.
I work in electrical department.
Electrical department.
So it's at a very high level. So they are not very, very specific.
And there they are specific on their innovation.
Okay.
So that is where they gain. Because they know that this doesn't exist. They do lots of literature study only on the particular topic.
Okay. You were talking to me before the session something on copper processing and then you say how different countries
innovation existed in India thousands and thousands of years ago.
Okay.
So before the West was developed or before the Europeans were developed, Indian got developed. Like Indian got developed back, and there is different chronology data that has existed regarding the innovations that has existed, regarding the culture, regarding the skills that has been existed in India.
Okay.
That is before. Like on metal extraction of metals, aluminum, zinc, and creating a copper, non-rustable copper. For example, if you see, there is two places in India. One is in Chikmagalur or near Karnataka. There is a place where there is an iron rod.
Okay.
That has been there to welcome the tribals has created the iron rod just because when Sankaracharya planned to visit that particular temple, so the tribals have created the iron rod, and the another iron rod is existing in Qutub Minar. Here, it is of very high humidity and it is having higher rainfall.
Correct.
Place in that tribe. There it is of high pollution.
Correct.
But both iron rods are not rusted till now. That is the technology that we had few thousands of years ago. Now, it is not with anybody in the world.
Okay. So that means somewhere we have
lost everything.
We have lost it, or are we becoming because this discussion keeps coming. Normally when we talk to people, are we becoming too specific, or we need to become very too specific, or we need to reinvent from our past?
No, there is two things. One, we need to actually know the worth of our technology. Okay, so before the invention of Gregorian calendars itself, we have invented our own calendar based on stars.
Correct.
But now, what the mentality of people is like, whatever technology the Indian people had or having now, they're not thinking that this is good.
Okay.
They are either following the West or they are following the British and thinking whatever that is getting adopted, it is implemented here. That is what I even criticize my team. I'll tell boss, always think that if you invent motorcycle in India, till now it will never be commercialized.
Okay.
Okay, because once you tell, for example, if I invent motorcycle and if I invite you or if some guy and I'll tell boss, this is the motorcycle I invented, then they go, okay, how I need to ride it? I'll tell there is a clutch here, there is an accelerator here, there is a brake here. So while you're accelerating, you should not touch your brake, and while accelerating, while changing gear, you need to put a clutch. Then he'll say, boss, this is too complicated, I'll not do this. But if the same is being implemented by British or
and then comes back,
and then comes here, then they'll say that is very good, that is too awesome, then we want to get implemented.
Okay.
If we change that mentality, then yes.
So I think one of the things which Vishnu was
here, what the different in a simpler way, what our people thinks is like, if there is a process, we don't get defined to the process. We try to define the process to
according to our convenience. Okay.
But if the process is coming from outside, then we get adapted to that.
Okay, so your thought process is that I think somewhere we are not respecting what we ourselves have.
Yes.
Correct. So that's one of the things which you would like to say. Now this is all generic. Let's get into the school. You went through schooling because we are talking on a topic like nurturing innovations in school. You went through your own schooling. You went through your own college education. What do you think are 2-3 gaps probably which is not allowing innovations to happen or which is allowing innovations to happen? So it can be any way from your question.
First I'll tell the not allowing innovations to happen because that is the biggest drawback. Okay. The first is perspective of marks.
Okay, perspective of marks is something which Vishnu says is okay. So do you think with competency-based education, do you think we'll be able to solve some of these things?
Competency on
any one of the domain, whatever that he or she is going to do.
Yeah, how it is getting validated.
Okay, so you need the right kind of rubrics, the right kind of thought process. Okay.
Just by marks, I can't validate.
Okay. So competency-based is not marks-driven kind of a thing. Okay, fine. No, because competency is also going to talk about in different areas. What are your different competency levels, and based on you will be getting recognized. That's something which new education policy is actually trying to talk about, and I think that's a good move according to me. But people still are somehow grade and marks is something we have that file towards it. Okay, good. So one point is marks. Second is
the impact of teacher.
Okay, the teacher impact Vishnu feels is very. Can you give one example of teacher impact? Because I always had a problem with my maths teacher. Okay, so whenever the maths teacher is coming into the classroom, he's going to ask me a few questions, and I'm not able to answer, and then he's going to say, "Please sit down there." And once he makes me
I'll tell an incident that has happened in my life.
Sure.
I used to write maths exam. This has happened during my 7th standard.
Okay.
So, what my maths teacher does is like, I'm a very low learner. Like I don't read.
Low score.
I'm low score guy.
Okay.
So what happened is like I have a friend who is a very bright student.
Okay.
So if there is 100 marks, he will teach me for 20 marks.
Okay.
Because that is what I can grasp at that time.
Okay.
So he'll teach me this is how you need to write this step, this is how you need to write this step. And I would have learned for another 25-30 marks.
Correct.
And in the exam, I would have answered for some 40 marks or 50 marks.
Okay.
But what the teacher used to do is like, she will not put her, for example, if it is a 2-mark question, that guy would have told me that this is how the 2-mark question you need to answer and this is the answer for this particular problem.
Correct.
So I would have solved that.
Okay.
It will be correct on my paper, it will be correct on his paper.
Okay.
So he'll get 2 out of 2. I will be getting 0.5 out of 2.
Okay.
Okay. So the teacher used to keep me only on the border scale. And I have complained this to my mom.
Okay.
See, this is what.
Oh, by the way, Vishnu's mother is also a teacher. She has been a teacher. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah.
I complained this to my mom. My mom went and she asked the teacher. The teacher said, no, if I give more marks, then your child will not study. Vishnu will not study.
Okay.
So if I give very low marks, he'll have a trigger of
going ahead and performing better.
Performing better. So, but this has turned opposite.
Okay.
What I thought is like how much I write good also, whatever the teacher is going
My
to
teacher is not going to give me these scores.
She's going to do 35. So, and then the impact of a teacher.
Okay.
How she is actually conceptualizing or practically explaining a particular problem.
Okay.
Or some concept. So that will actually create an impact on student.
So I think teachers who are using this strategy, okay, many of you are using this strategy of trying to say that give tough marks or low score marks, then the child will be able to perform. I think according to him it doesn't work, okay, and he is a victim of it. So that's something, okay.
And the best thing is like there is an Albert Einstein quote. What he says is like, if you can't explain a concept to a 6-year-old,
okay,
who can understand? Then that means you have not understood yourself.
Okay, so teachers, I think, go back and try to teach a 6-year-old and see if the child is able to understand. I think you have done your bit. I think that's something very, very.
Because that guy, the 6-year-old, will have enormous questions. Why this? Why that? Why not this? Why not that? And if you are able to fulfill all sorts of questions, then you would have been master in the particular.
Okay, good. Now, more than anything else, my second question, which is going to the is there something which is related to the environment what children come and innovations help or impact? Like people say rural versus urban. There's always a dilemma in particularly Indian context. People always say the rural people don't get sufficient opportunity, they don't get awareness. Is there a correlation between innovation and rural urban?
Before it was there,
okay,
but now it is not.
Why do you say so?
Because of technology.
Okay, so today the technology has raised awareness.
Yes.
That's what.
See, in 2005 or 6, I was seeing a Hollywood movie.
Okay.
And there was an LED TV.
Okay.
I think the movie came in 2002 or 2001. I saw the movie in 2005 or 6.
Okay.
When I was studying 8th standard.
Okay.
I was thinking, what is that? Because during 2008 and all, there was only the TV of a huge picture tube TV.
Correct.
And I have seen that LED TV in 2002 in US.
Sure.
But now, after 15 years only, that got implemented.
In India.
In 2010, 2009, only that got implemented in India.
Okay.
But now if you see, if US is having some technology there, we are having the same technology here.
Okay.
So the implementation rate is same.
So
across the world.
Across the world, the implementation is the winner. Today, access to technology.
Yeah. If you see, 7 years back, 8 years back, nobody has a phone there in rural. Or they have access. But now, everybody is having a touchscreen phone. They are there in WhatsApp. Even my mom is there in WhatsApp. She is 55 years old. She WhatsApps me.
So that means
they are getting adapted to technology.
So do you think a pandemic like COVID also helped us to kind of come out with a lot of innovative practices or innovative ideas?
COVID has helped in identifying us where we are losing time.
Okay. So where we are losing time?
In traffic.
Okay.
Chit chat.
Okay.
Whatever unnecessary, the COVID has stopped everything. And
so COVID told us that shut up and go back to basics.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. That's something very, very important. Now, schools are now with the new education policy coming. Schools are also being expected to create something called as innovation councils and other things. What's your belief system personally that creating a structure, because we are very good in creating structures. Because if you go through the school council part of it, you will be able to kind of make this point very clearly that there is what is the objective, what is the structure, what is the role, which month what kind of activities need to be done. Do you believe that by putting a structure, we'll be able to bring in innovation in a school?
No, see, if you talk about innovation,
okay,
innovation is not a common
one more subject.
No, it is not a common problem.
Okay.
It is individual specific problem.
Okay. Innovations are
so
individual specific problem.
Your perspective on innovation is different. My perspective on innovation is different.
Okay.
For example, if you see, if a person speaks about innovation, all your brain will think is like, how can you bring a new system in education? because that is your forte.
Correct.
And if I get, because my specialization in medical sciences, I will see what can be done in medical sciences. So,
Okay.
if you speak about the school children,
Mm-hmm.
they have, every children has a different aspiration,
Correct.
and that is not defined.
Okay.
So, whatever I'm thinking and during my 7th standard, 8th standard, if they're same now, they'll be big.
Okay.
But most of the children will lose it. Either it can be because of pressure from the parents, because of pressure from the teacher or the society, or something. They'll lose. They'll think that they want to become collector, but they'll be engineer, or they'll be some math teacher, science teacher. That is because of they have lost their aspiration.
Okay.
That is only because of the environment.
Sure.
And if the invention is individual perspective, like if it has been given in such a way that it is molded according to each child's wish and their development, then obviously everybody will vote in it.
So, but do you think like should we not give them in a some kind of
Operation, procedure, structure, everything you can define, but you can't define the syllabus.
Okay, so there is no syllabus for innovation.
No, you can't. It is not like learning 2 tables. So everybody will learn 2 tables in a single day. Even that is not happening. Only if you teach children 6 times, you grasp 2 times or 2.
Okay.
Some guys would have grasped in the first learning, but some will grasp only in the 10th learning. So that is also the same for innovation.
Okay, so innovation is not a defined syllabi, but it's a process. But
Process is defined.
okay, so can I understand more about when we say innovation? There are some sequence of things which people are expected to do as part of the whole journey. Can you take us in a very simple example?
It starts with the question,
Okay.
why?
Okay.
Why this is happening? Say for example, why sun rises in the east?
Okay. So now somebody is questioning it. Okay.
So if somebody is thinking it, why sun rises in the east? If sun is not rising in the east, the earth is getting rotated from west to east. So that is why the sun is coming on east every day. That is the solution.
So the first step is why.
Why?
Okay.
So you want to have why. Why for everything.
Okay.
Why
So-
this is like that.
So teachers, I think, allow your children to ask why.
Yes.
Parents allow your children whenever they ask why. If you don't know the answer, please ask people and go back and answer.
Correct.
Okay.
And now because there is Google and because there is so much information that is available everywhere, we have access at a single click.
Okay.
That was not existing 50, 60 years ago. Even
Okay.
30 years ago, it was not existing. If I want to learn something, either I want to get a book or I want to travel kilometers or like to some countries or states, I want to go there, particular library or to a particular professor. But now it is not like that.
Correct. So that means today the availability of information itself is something very.
And I can get the answer to a question why very easily.
Okay, so I think teachers, we don't need not whenever a question is asked why, the child is not asking us to test. He doesn't know, actually doesn't know the whole thing. He wants us to go back and validate or improvise on what exactly we can basically kind of work on it. What else? Suppose people say, no, it is.
And then once you get the idea, say for example, then your perspective will change.
Okay.
Then after why, it will be why not this.
Okay.
It will be different. Say for example, if you are having a particular process. Say I'll tell we are researching on something called as bicycle.
Okay.
Why bicycle? Okay, everybody is having bicycle. The advantages. Then you know why there is spokes in a bicycle. That is because of stability. Why not spoke? Why without spoke? There is no use of spoke other than connecting your center part to the rim.
Okay.
So what if you remove the spoke?
Okay.
So that is when that is a concept. Then your mind will start bombarding with multiple questions. Then it will tell how you need to cover, what are the different types of chain drives that is available, whether it is a belt drive or chain drive. So then you will start getting into the learning. So the literature study is first important.
Okay.
If somebody has done the same experiment, I don't want to repeat the same experiment.
Okay.
If he's, if
Or if there are some learning available, we should be able to take it up and build upon it.
So once I get that, then I would have completed 80% of the research only with the literature study. Because I would have learned concepts, I would have learned methods, I would have known whether it is practically possible, practically implementable, what is the budget I need to
Plan for.
Everything is on literature study. Post literature study, then you will be developing a prototype.
Okay.
You'll be ideating a concept, And based on the concept, you'll be developing a prototype. And after the prototype, then you'll go for a commercial version, beta version, and then you'll go for a commercial version. From there, you'll be going for plus one, plus two, plus three. What happens is like if you are not doing a literature study more, so when you are working, if you have started working on your idea, then on every stage you will face a problem.
Okay.
So then you would have built something, then you'll say, okay, if I add this, then it will be good. Okay, you'll add something.
So that's a version also keeps changing. Like I may have a product version 1, 1.1, 1.2, which will
So
kind
if
of
you
evolve.
define this literature study, if you you need to start, like you need to give its own time. What I tell is like if some spark is coming, I will not immediately get into the concept. I'll put it in my mind. I'll start thinking. After 5 days, my perspective on the same idea will be different. After 1 month, it will be so mature. And if I'm speaking with my team, the team's perspective will be different.
Collective wisdom.
And after 3 months, we'll be still speaking on the same idea. But after 6 months or 7 months, the idea would have evolved into a big structure.
Okay.
And at that time, if I start implementing, it will be very easy because everybody would have traveled through the idea for a very long time.
Okay, good. That's one part. The next part which I wanted to also see, normally when we say, innovation and entrepreneurship, IND, everybody talks about innovation and entrepreneurship, which needs to be kind of connected. What's your view on it? Well, why people basically connect this? Is it a commercial, until it's commercially successful, we try to talk about, or how do you measure this impact part of it? Is it only financial, non-financial also?
See, that is what I said. If something is impacting your life and it is making your life easy, then obviously there is an innovation in it.
Okay.
Without which it can't happen. And if the problem is being faced by the multiple people, scale of people, if it is being faced only by a small community or in a particular town or to a state or to across billion people all over the world,
correct,
then that is the impact of innovation that is.
You said sometime during our conversation that around 1 billion people should be here.
That is our concept. So in VPRC, what we do is like there is a project duration.
Okay.
So from Jan to Feb every year, we'll give all the centers that give your ideas, and then we'll fund the project, and that we'll start working on that. So my concept is like, if there is a problem that is being faced by at least a billion people, at least a billion people,
okay,
then your idea is scalable.
Otherwise, it's not scalable.
Then it's not commercially viable. Okay. My professor, Mr. Satya from IT Madras, he has a very direct quote. Every problem has a solution, but at what cost? Defines the implementation.
Okay. Can you repeat this? Every problem has a solution,
but at what cost defines the scale of implementation.
But at what cost defines the scale of implementation. Okay. So how do you think this COVID time? We did a lot of things came up.
There are multiple changes. Personally, because of COVID, I got multiple changes. Like I defined the entire structure of my organization. The work I have clustered my team. So wherever they're working, we got adapted to that process.
So work from home kind of a thing.
And then it was very productive.
So you found value in it.
Yeah, everybody found value. Like there is no use in traveling to a place that doesn't make sense. So other than laboratory, nothing is there. So only if you want to do something in laboratory, you want to come. Otherwise, you can do everything on laptop. Simulations can be done on laptop. Literature study can be done on laptop. Investigations, meetings, everything can be done on laptop. So technology is there. We use the technology.
Okay. Now, when we talk about innovation, one more thing which whenever we try to talk about ranking of higher education institutions in India, one of the very important things is this word which is called as patent, and patent. Throw some light, because I know that these are all teachers who are there. They may not have the right perspective like a professor, maybe. Many of them may have. But why do you think we need to do the patent, or what is the necessity of patent? What is this patent all about?
See,
because you yourself are holding multiple patents.
Yeah, the concept of patent has arrived across the world because of not having trust.
Okay. So patent.
That is the back idea of patent.
Okay.
I have found something, And if I'm showing it to you, I would have showed it to you. And if I'm showing it to some other guy, I would have showed it with the same trust. But if the same guy has copied my idea and is implementing, then I can't, there is no value for this. So the patent of idea is to create trust for the particular inventor or to a particular innovation. That is how the idea.
And how much time does it take typically?
It takes 4 years, depending on the type of patent. That is what I say. Multiple people would have bought pizzas.
Okay.
There is a small plastic stand with 3 legs.
Yes, all of that white color.
The white color.
Yeah.
So when they pack the pizza, they'll have your pizza in the box. They'll put that stand. They'll close your pizza. They'll send it to your home. You open, you'll throw that, and you'll see. But there was a lady who got the patent for that, and the pizza companies paid millions and millions of dollars only for her to use the technology. And the lifetime of a patent is 20 years. After your 20 years, the patent is open.
Anybody can use.
Anybody can use because technology would have evolved.
So, but that's a time when your knowledge you have actually tried to took advantage of it or monetize your idea basically. So I think that's a lady who found it. I think I was not aware.
See, patent. It is not that only certain technology can patent. Anything you can patent.
Okay.
You can patent anything.
Mm-hmm.
If you are finding something, you can patent it. If you are having a process, you can patent it. All you need is you need some money and you need a patience to wait. That's all.
So money.
And if that scale is implementable, again, because that pizza is a universal problem.
Okay. It
So
was
it got implemented.
faster.
It got implemented. All the people started using it. She got money. But some patents, there are more patents. If you see in the last year, there is around 66,400 patents being registered in India.
66,400 patents. Okay.
But the scale of increasing is not, when you compare it to the world, we are still driving.
So any percentage that you would like to attribute, or if you are aware, it's okay. If not there, that's okay.
That varies.
That varies.
China is huge on patents.
China is huge. So how can we create a culture for bringing this innovation concept, and is there a correlation between innovation and psychology?
Yeah. See, first of all, we need to erase from the mind is that the thought that innovation is not a curriculum.
Okay, innovation is not a curriculum. Okay, good.
How we are teaching maths, how we are teaching physics, how we are teaching science, everything has innovation.
Okay.
Maths, there is innovation. It is a process.
Okay.
Like if a student gets
progression is it?
If a student gets a question of why, if a student gets a question of why not, if a student gets of what if, what not, then he'll start innovating.
Okay.
That is the basic idea. We can't expect, it depends. Some can be prodigy, some students cannot be prodigy, but some can think from a billion user perspective, some can think from a perspective which his mother, he would have think that my mother is facing a problem with this grinder, so if I make this solution,
I'm able to help my mom.
So everything is innovation. Whether it is an implementable on scale or not scale, that matters. And what I'm telling you is, when that is coming in, when the process of invention is coming in, every child, the implementation partner will be either the school or the teacher.
Okay. So
because they are the guides.
Okay, no, because people think that are we overdoing? Because I heard there's always a discussion which is very hot in the community right now. Is all about robotics, coding, innovation, all this to be
psychologically.
What is the right age according to you?
Yeah. So we have a big team who does research on psychology.
Okay.
Understanding the development of from the child is born till we die. So there is different analysis that we do. We do behavioral, psychometric, emotional, multiple things. And that is all proven. So one such example, for example, if I take the moment I say nature or Ayurveda, and if I tell what is the color, everybody will say green color.
Okay, Ayurveda means green.
Green.
Okay.
Because that has been psychologically fed. And that is how the system are driving. So that is how the top companies take their behavior. For example, if you take the color of all telecom providers, Airtel, Jio, Vodafone, Idea, everybody is of red color. What is the color of the logo? Red.
So is there a significance between the color and
that is your indirect impact.
Okay.
So that is what drives a particular space. If you take all the technology companies, IBM blue, Intel blue, so all the technology companies, they get into the blue space. And if you are into food space, that comes into orange though.
Okay.
If I launch a new Ayurvedic product with a red label, your mind will never register that it is an Ayurvedic product. Because you have trained. You have been trained that Ayurveda nature is green.
It's always green.
Yeah, it's always green. Because we have been trained. All the 7 billion people have been trained.
To look at Ayurveda only from the
green perspective. So that is the if you say how the machine learning is actually in our life. So the moment a child is born, the first sense is smell. Okay, the child will recognize its mother only by its smell. So if I take a child from its mother, then it will start crying only because there is a variation, change in smell. Okay. And the next comes eyes, the next comes in. So the final thing is eyes. Okay. So only at the end of a year or at the end of 6 months to 1 year, eye vision starts developing. So that is why if you take a torch and if you put in the eyes, child's eyes, it will not blink like this. So it will just keep on staring because the vision is not fully developed. Okay. And later, when there is a cat that is being going on your fence, then if your mom shows that is cat, this is cat, this is cat, so we would have seen around 1 billion cat images in our life. So that is why even if it's a small tail that we are seeing, we would recognize that is cat. That is a machine learning process
in us.
In us.
So what is the correct age, suppose if we need to kind of look at this in our school? Suppose if
whatever skill, technical skill that I am teaching my child between the age 1 to 5 is of no use.
So 1 to 5, no use teaching any technical skills. Okay, very good.
Because nobody remembers it.
No, because there are companies which are trying to promote certain kind of.
Because of money.
Oh, so that's money. Okay, so that's money. Because I don't want to mention companies' names, but probably I think if 1 to 5 be very clear about it that
6
कुछ नहीं हो सकता. Okay, हो सकता है लेकिन कितना हो सकता है? I think you are hearing the expert, not me. But I think it's very, very important for us to understand.
It all,
6 onwards. Okay.
The development neurologically happens between the age of 13 to 19.
13 to 19. Okay.
So that is when, if you feed a particular skill, he'll master it, he'll ace in it. If you feed the right skill. So the best keyboard players, the best drummers, the best drawing. So that is when, if you see the students get involved in all the additional activities, they'll say my child is drawing, my child is going for that class, my child is going for practical. So everybody, if they're acing in a particular extracurricular activity as they defend, that will be during the age of 13 to 19. Because that is what mind is defined. After 19, it gets mature.
Okay, so it strengthens or hardens after 19. So is there a correlation between when we say 10th, 15, 10th, at the age of 15 when the child is. So 8th class onwards, the actual learning or the skill building process should take place?
No, it can start from 6th, like 6th. Learning basics.
Learning basics can be explained.
6 to 8
basics
is one process.
Okay. 8th onwards is a
9, 10, 11, 12 is a defining, concentrating process.
And thereafter?
Professional, being a professional.
Okay, I think when you are talking about it, I am also trying to, think when we try to talk about the new education policy, it very clearly tells us that there is something called as 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. It says first 5 years, which is the foundational year, and then the 3 years up to grade 5. And then 6 to 8, it talks about 3 years, and then it talks about 9 to 12. If you try to look at most of the international board, including ICSE board, which basically talks about 8th standard onwards, you need streaming. And the new education policy is actually talking towards that kind of a thought process. So that's something very important, I think, which you have, highlighted. The age has a direct connotation to whether it is innovation or any kind of skill acquisition which the child needs to be done comes up from.
Because even a human body is not evolved in a single day.
It's a process.
Yeah, it's a process. Our brain, bones, memory needs a process.
So, but how as a school, because what happens whenever somebody asks a question, we just say shut up. Don't we just kill that thing by saying just shut up, or oh, this is not out, this is not in the syllabus, and we just kill it. What is your take? How do we nurture this in the school? See, if I am a school owner who's going to come and tell you, Vishnu, please tell me what I should do to nurture.
That is actually good for a teacher.
Teacher.
Okay. Instead of telling, just shut up, I want to complete the syllabus or something. There is a saying. So when I met an international renowned scientist, so I asked him, sir, what is your take on the research because everybody is researching. Only some guys who are into research are like moving up.
Correct.
And 99% are failing in research.
Correct.
But like failing in the research, I speak about commercially.
Say, commercial viability.
Then he said, before you start to earn, learn.
Okay.
The value L is important. So, as a teacher, if the guy is asking some question, if the student is asking some question, if I start learning that,
okay,
if I learn, I'll be +1. I'll be having more knowledge. And then over a period of years, not only my expertise on a particular subject will develop, I'll become a master in it.
So it's important. Now, just to ask, because this is also one of the things which I see as a fashion now happening in schools, in terms of doing this innovation festival. Okay, what
Science fair.
The science fair is still better for me, which is done by the parents. But on the name of innovation first, I find out that a lot of schools have this kind of practice of saying that okay, we are doing a 2 days, 3 days innovation fest. We are going to get experts. We are going to expose. We are going to do that. But without even telling the basics, how will you even nurture that particular kid into an innovation or a competition between two?
The saddest thing that is happening in today's world is the parents are not giving the taste of life to the kids.
In terms of?
In terms of everything.
Like?
So, for example, I participated in a science fair during my 10th standard.
Okay.
My parents didn't help me.
Okay.
I was actually pressuring them. I was like, I need this pipe, PVC pipe.
Maybe that was a different era. But today, you find in most of the metro, the parents are doing
the parents are doing the experiment. Then they are like, they want to present themselves as in a big way. But they are not thinking about the evolution of a child's mind.
Okay. So parents, please don't make the project.
They should not do anything. See, a child should know how to paste the Fevicol here, how to paste. Let it look dirty.
That's okay.
That's not.
But that is his or her creation.
Yeah.
But I think teachers also have a role. No, they will not give marks the dirty work, the outline not being made.
Then it's the parents' necessity to sit next to the child and to tell them, "Boss, do it this way." They should not do it.
Okay. So parents don't do it. Just allow the kid to do. And teachers, please don't give marks. So your rubrics needs to change. Not on the neatness of the project, but the innovativeness
implementation.
The implementation or the innovativeness of the project. Yeah, we are at the, I have some two questions. One question I've already covered on this. The second important thing is, which people have, asked us very, should it become, the innovation should become a routine like an assembly in a school, or it should be run very focused effort from grade 6 onwards? What happens? Assembly, we said everybody goes in the morning, there's a prayer, there's a thing, how to make it routine. We had a campaign, Har Ghar Tiranga, like that, Har school mein innovation or Har grade mein innovation. We can't do that.
Yeah.
So, what should be done a little differently to nurture this? Do you think that any such experiences, like you were talking something about robotics?
Yeah.
Can you give me one example?
We are building that.
Yeah.
See, what I'm doing is like, before getting into any innovation,
okay,
first you want to give a learning to that particular topic or to a particular skill to a particular children. So if somebody is coming, is saying, "Boss, this is the problem. I am solving it in this way." Then you need to educate the child that already for this problem there is all the solutions.
So you need to have a repository of solutions for a problem, which has been already done by. Are there such forums available, or are you thinking of creating some kind of a forum?
We are planning to create. That is what we are doing. So we are planning to create the innovation chapters in every school.
Okay.
For a particular topic.
Okay.
If it is robotics, if it is AI, if it is IoT, it is there.
Okay. So you will show the progression for grade by grade, and then you think
like how there is PT period. PT period, nobody is actually using PT period.
Yeah. No, PT period only maths. PT period only maths and science teacher. Maths and science to complete the
syllabus. But that
syllabus.
is actually to build the physical ability of a particular children.
Which is not happening.
Not happening. So similarly, in that way, every week we will be having an innovation period.
But typically, one challenge which many managements and many schools keep telling me is, Senthil, in 35 minutes or 45 minutes, how can we have a robotics period?
Yeah, it cannot happen only if you have 35 minutes for a particular week. So because we are covering for entire
Yeah.
year.
Hmm.
That can happen. And that's what I'm telling you. What the courses now they are doing in online is like they are not making the children learn. They're actually creating an assembly. Robotics, okay, boss, you want to learn this robot, pick and place robot. Take this 4 motor, take this 3 motor, take this breath selection,
Assemble.
take this program, do this, do done. Child will do, the parent will see, yes, the robot is
Hand is moving, so I think the work is.
if you just leave him in, if you take the same child and if you leave him inside a big robotic lab, tell, create your own robot, he can never create because he doesn't know what is the type of motor he want to choose, what is the type of robot that he's going to create, what is the program that he needs to build, how he needs to create a circuit board. Nobody is teaching that. It is not just a robotics, it's a combination of 5-6 departments. So it is there in all aspects. Like if you say physics, if you want to create a car or if you want to create a drone you want to study aerodynamics, you want to study motors, you want to study control, you want to study communication systems. So once you study all this, then only you can't teach this all to a 6th standard kid.
Correct. Okay.
So what we do is like from 6th to 12th, we are splitting that entire curriculum based on the psychological ability to learn.
Ability to learn. So learnability of the child is crucial in nurturing innovation.
It's simply like if they say you can't teach robotics in 35 minutes. Similarly, you can't teach calculus in 35 minutes. You can't teach trigonometry in 35 minutes.
No, Aditya, what they do.
Evolution.
Okay. So progression is very, very important.
Correct.
But the scientific progression is something very, very. We need to be very clear about that particular part of it. Now I think we are almost at the end. I have just 10 minutes, but then I have few questions too.
Okay.
What is your advice to parents to nurture innovations in their children?
See, during between 3 to 4 years or 2.5 to 4 years, every child has a single ability across the world. Whatever you say, they repeat.
Okay. So repeatability is there.
That's there. So similarly, during their like from class 1 to class 7, they have questions. Why this? Why that? Why not this? Why not that? And they'll keep asking only to their parents, either to their dad or to their mom. And it is, if they have patience, like if they have an interest that if they learn and if they educate the child, that is enough. That is more than enough.
Parents, I think the message is very, very sure. Don't be very happy that they say, Amma, Appa, Daddy, Mummy, don't feel shy, don't feel very happy to 2.5. That's okay. And then I think it's very important. He says if there are questions like why, help them to understand why. You may have to do a little bit of research to answer that particular point. I think that makes a lot of
and we'll also learn.
We'll also learn in it. So parents, I think, spend some time. I think when it comes to innovation or when it comes to small things, this is how I think people. And I think many of you might have tried, particularly the age what he's talking about. If a mother is making dosa, so the child goes there and makes one dosa, not circular, but he tries to create some image, some drawing on the dosa and trying to say why can't this dosa be done. So I think parents please do investment on it. What's your suggestion to the teachers?
Don't think that that is a different perspective.
Okay,
I'm not getting into that. What I'm telling is like, don't think that if every child writes a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square, then your teaching is done. Every child is perfect. Or is not done. They need to learn what is a, what is b, where the a plus b whole square is used in practical life. So teach it that way.
So I think it's more about application orientation. Allow them to ask questions even if you don't know the answer. I think it's nothing wrong. As a teacher, we need to be shameless for learning.
It is not necessity that I want to answer instantly. I can tell, okay, I'll answer in 2 days, I'll answer tomorrow, I'll answer in the evening.
I check with my colleagues.
I can take my own time. I can learn. Even if I'm introvert, if a particular teacher is introvert, he's feeling shy that he should not ask another teacher. No worry. He can just search on his mobile, he'll get answer. And then he can learn from them, and then he can tell.
So I think that's for the teachers. Coming to the school managements and managements, because they are the people who are going to be spending a lot of time on this particular spot. So what is your take on that?
Other than validating each children only a mark perspective, they need to validate each and every children, or they need to measure each and every children on understanding perspective.
Okay, understanding perspective. So
because somebody would have, every children will write, nobody remembers what is the 7.1 to 7.7 theorem that has been written in 10th standard.
People, how they have applied it, how they have used it, it's not even.
So understanding, if more children say, why did you learn, why you're not writing, they say, I can't understand.
So for the managements, when I'm talking principles, when I'm talking about creating an innovation lab, nowadays people have started spending time on creating, I have a beautiful innovation lab. What's your take on it?
Everybody can create an infrastructure.
Okay. Infrastructure creation is easy.
But implementation, syllabus, process of implementation is what defines how we are implementing it.
How we are implementing that particular. So that's where I think management, the message is very clear again that you need infrastructure is the most easiest thing to be created. But I think it's equally important for us to understand this particular perspective that we need to have the right process, right progression, and then we'll be able to look at.
For example, if you say there is chemistry lab in every school,
correct.
But how many chemistry professors have shown real awesome experiences to the children?
No, they do it whatever syllabus expects them. Eight.
So they can just say, it takes only 2 minutes. I take sodium, I put it in water, it will burn.
Hmm.
So a child will say, why sodium is burning? That's what they can, teacher can say, okay, but why sodium is burning? Learn it now.
We'll have a discussion tomorrow.
The facilities exist. There is a physics.
Lab.
They are showing he can just take 2 bowls, he can place it on a different table. So he can beat at one tongue, other will resonate. Why this is resonating?
Correct.
Learn it.
But even you keep 5 glasses or 6 glasses, pour water at different levels, and you start playing with the spoon, you will get different kind of a sound, and then you say why. So that why kind. So do you think, because in new education policy also it talks about more of activity-based learning, experiential learning, multidisciplinary learning. Okay, what's your take on this multidisciplinary, where multiple subjects can be taught together with one concept?
That is important, but it needs to stop at a certain age.
Like what?
Like, say, if you talk about the learning in Europe, so they have parents, they stand, like the Montessori system, the parents will view the children in a particular zone. They'll give multiple options for the children to experience. So one day he'll become a carpenter, tomorrow he'll be a plumber. He'll start experiencing with multiple toys. Like that, only then they'll take the particular child and they'll put him into a particular specialization. Do science, do social, do math. So like that, in multidisciplinary, I can learn who is my prime minister. I need to know what is my history. I need to know who are the kings who ruled. I need to know X, Y, Z, everything. That is all to increase my common sense or the knowledge. But if I want to be good, I need to go into a particular specialization. Like what I said. There is ice engineering. There is fire engineering. The specific engineerings are there in countries which in India doesn't exist.
What are some of the emerging areas? Because you have been interacting with multiple scientists, multiple people. According to you, what are some of the emerging areas which are not very traditional, which students, parents, and teachers were saying should be able to go back and tell that students.
Nanotechnology, in a material perspective, nanotechnology is like the future is on now. Because
what about the analytics? Because people keep talking. Data, everybody says that data analytics. Do you think that's going to be one?
Yeah, we are moving into a cyber-physical world. You can't omit your phone or your tablet from your life. Nobody can do that.
So it cannot be plugged out and then.
Nobody can do hereafter. If somebody says I can live without phone, I can live without tablet, then you'd be outdated. Like you can't exist in this world. Right?
So it has become part of our life now.
Yes. You can't omit it. If you omit it, I can't progress in my life.
Fine, but let me ask my last question. What is, you have done so much of patents and so much innovation. Can you tell us about one innovation which is very common and easily, because I know that it's a very technical part of it, something which is very light and which you would like to share. If it is not in the public domain.
There is always a close to heart project that is called as bioplastics.
Okay, what is this bioplastics?
Wherein we have created a plastic that degrades itself in less than 8 to 12 months.
Oh, 8 to 12 months of plastic is going to get degraded.
Yeah, if you take a normal toothbrush,
okay,
if I use the toothbrush and if I throw it in soil, it takes 5,000 years to degrade.
5,000 years to degrade.
Okay. There are different types of plastics, HDP, LDP, PPP, there are different types of plastics.
Okay.
So we have did some compounding with the bacteria and then we have created a bioplastic where you throw this plastic in the soil,
okay,
it will convert into biomass in less than 8 to 12 months.
8 to 12 months. So from 1,000 of years to just 12 months. Okay, so all those green people, you have Vishnu Prasad with us who has kind of found out, and I think I will encourage people to kind of explore more about him. And if you need any kind of help, how people can reach out to you. I know that I asked him a very interesting question, that do you have a website? He says, no, I don't have a website. So probably I'll try to find out from him how somebody, if a school is interested, how they should be able to reach with you or get in touch with you. Is there a particular email ID which will give it, which I'll put it in the comment section, which people can actually have? So give us one email ID, because I just for the sake of people that there are multiple projects which they keep working on it. That's why they may not like to share most of the details. But thank you, Vishnu, for taking time on a Sunday. I know that after this he has a line of Zoom calls which he has to go back and kind of attend and make sure that we are making this space a better planet for anything on education space that you have done something very innovative or which you would like to share.
Now only we are building the innovation chapters for every school.
Okay. So innovation chapters in every school, grade wise from 6th to 12th, will be a work in progress, and very soon this will be released. And I assure you, when he is going to release it, I will surely put it on my page first to say that okay, this is something which is available for all of you. All the best, and appreciate your taking time. And thank you for all the participants who have joined and who are going to join in future, who are going to see this video in future too. This was Vishnu Prasad from VPRC, Vishnu Prasad Research Center, for us sharing his experiences on his journey. Thank you very much, and go back and try to do a lot of research on School Innovation Council. But while doing those research, please understand whatever is being said. Thank you, stay safe, and look forward to seeing you soon. But next time, I think one topic which people have asked me is all about NCRT's research on child number of suicide and the mental health issues. Surely my next episode is going to be all about mental health. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Stay safe.